All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Super excited for today. No more bye weeks. We got no more Thanksgiving games. So we got a full slate, tons of games, tons of stuff to get to. And yeah, I'm going to get right into it. I'll do the Ravens and the Bengals at the end. And yeah, let's try to figure out. Because here's the thing. Before I start, the theme of today is going to be there's no way all these favorites are going to win. Not I'm 100% sure they're not going to cover. Like that's a fact. There's way too many games today where the favorite, double digit favorite team has nothing to play for on the road. It's like all signs are pointing to 4, 5, 6 blowouts, and it's just not going to happen. It's just not. So figuring out which one is going to be the upset, that's the challenging part. So let's go through it. I got 4 games I like today. So I'll do those 4 games at the end. And yeah, we'll start with the games that I'm going to pass on. I am going to pass on the Texans and the Cardinals. That's probably the most popular one today for people to take the Texans. They're 10.5-point favorites. And as I say these lines, they'll probably go up as we get closer to game time. But Texans 10.5-point favorites against the Cardinals. And the Cardinals have just been god-awful. They were 2-0 to start the season. That seems like forever ago. They get killed by good teams. And I don't really know what the argument is for the Cardinals to cover the spread today, except that it's just the NFL and it feels too easy. I think if I was making an actual argument for the Cardinals, it would start with the Texans have been playing a lot of big games. They have a couple big games to end the season. It is a letdown situation spot, even though they're fighting for a playoff spot. You would think they'd be up for it. Just beat the Chiefs on the road, shorter week. Yeah, I just don't know exactly why, but I just don't want to give the 10.5 points. That's how I'm feeling about it this afternoon, going into the game, or I should say this morning. But I just do not want to take the Texans. If you want to take them, good for you. I'd be more inclined to put them in the tees today. I just 10.5 points. The offense doesn't get enough big plays. I thought Stroud played pretty good last week, but he still left a couple things on the table, so I'm going to leave that game alone. I'm definitely leaving the Eagles Raiders game alone because I just don't know how you bet the Eagles minus 12.5 today, and I definitely don't know how you bet the Raiders. The Raiders are terrible. The weather will be terrible. It's an East Coast start, so it's like – but the Eagles have – I don't know how the Eagles lost to the Chargers. I mean, they dominated that game, and they still found a way to lose. They've lost 3 in a row. It feels like everything's falling apart in Philadelphia like it did 2 years ago. What just a weird situation it is in Philly. It's always, trying to figure out what's going on with the Eagles the past few years. It's like hit or miss. And I'm just going to stay away from it. If you want to take the Raiders, God help you. They covered last week by accident as the referees had a phantom delay of game call. And then Pete Carroll sends out the field goal unit to cover the spread. I don't know. The Raiders, they have absolutely nothing to lose, but it's such a miserable road trip. It's a miserable weather. Yeah, I don't know. Eagles, Raiders, I will take a pass. And as much as I want to take the Jets, I promise myself I will not bet Jaguars games anymore until we get to the playoffs. And so I'll leave it alone. But the Jets are going to start a rookie quarterback, Brady Cook. Kind of the opposite of the Raiders, where the Jets go from bad weather to, I guess, good weather in Jacksonville. But God, the Jets were so bad last week against the Dolphins. I want to take the Jets. I really do. 14 points. But, yeah, the Jaguars just have a way of screwing me over this year. Hard to think the Jags are 14-point favorites, but they are. And, yeah, so we'll see. If I wake up tomorrow and the Jets beat the Jaguars, that would be my life at this point, because if I hadn't gotten screwed over by the Jags so much, I'd probably be betting Jets money line today because I just don't believe the Jags, but we'll leave it alone. All right, so Bills-Patriots. Let's get to a good game here finally. Bills-Patriots, I can't bet this game either because I got to see the Patriots win this game to believe in the Patriots. They've won, 10 in a row now, coming off a bye. They beat the Bills earlier in the season, and the Bills just gave them the game, and the Patriots weren't playing very well. And you felt like after that game, man, the Bills just lost that game. But the Patriots haven't lost since. Patriots have just been winning every single game, and they're doing it pretty much the way they've always done it. It's just good, solid defense. They don't turn the ball over, and they're running the football. They're well coached. a little vanilla. It's a little boring, but they use the tight ends. They got backs out of the backfield. It feels like Stephon Diggs is just where he goes. I mean, it's kind of a strange situation, but it's his history right now. He makes the quarterback better, and he certainly has made Drake May better. The Bills and Josh Allen, I'm not betting against them today, so it's really just a stay away for me. A little surprising the Bills are favored. I guess the betting public, the odds makers feel like the betting public is going to want to take the Bills here. So if you make the Patriots the favorite, then everybody's going to take the Bills. You do it this way, maybe balance out the action. So I'll stay away from it, but I do not trust I don't trust Josh Allen here in this spot. If you made me bet, I'd probably take the Patriots. And the last stay away game at 1 o'clock is the only game where both teams are eliminated from the playoffs, which is pretty interesting when you go through the whole entire NFL this week. There's only one game where you absolutely don't have to watch it. It's the Commanders and the Giants. And I imagine nobody is actually going to be watching that game. If you're betting that game, I don't have a thought on that game. I have zero thoughts on that game because both teams are a complete disaster. And I would bet on either of those teams if they were playing the Cowboys or the Eagles at the end of the year to cover, because I know it's a rivalry game and I believe in certain things with each team. But today, I don't know. It's just it's a dumpster fire. The Giants offensive coordinator wants to be the head coach. He's the interim head coach right now. I don't know if the Giants will let him be the head coach, but I know that's a thing. And Washington, Dan Quinn, just a year from hell. I imagine they let him run it back next year, just with a high draft pick to go along with the team that they built for this year. So who knows what's going to happen in that game? I'll stay away from it. All right, 2 games I like at 1 o'clock. We'll start with the obvious one here for me, which is the Chiefs. This Chargers team is I don't know how I'll probably take the under for the Chargers total team points, depending on exactly what that number is. But I like the Chiefs a lot today. I've been, I took the Texans the week before, I took the Cowboys the week before that. So I haven't been riding the Chiefs at all. But today is just an obvious the Chiefs are going to beat the crap out of the Chargers game. Chiefs are still mathematically alive. They definitely think they're alive. And the Chargers were really lucky to win last week. Don't know how exactly they still pulled that off. They're fundamentally just screwed up because the offensive line just cannot block. And I don't know how you're going to win football games that way. I didn't think the defense was great last week against Eagles. They just kept making turnovers. I don't imagine that would be the case today. I'll definitely take the Chiefs minus the 6. And then in this Browns-Bears game, I will not take the Browns. Although if you made me bet, I'd probably take the Browns plus 7.5. But I do feel great about the under here. The total's 38.5. The weather won't be fun. And the Bears, they cannot lose this game. I'm telling you right now, the Bears are in the Bears have a chance to not make this playoffs because if they screw this thing up today, their last 3 games are very difficult. They have to win today. I think they'll play accordingly, meaning Caleb Williams will have limited opportunities to screw this game up. I expect a lot of running, a lot of short, quick passes from Ben Johnson. Although Caleb's been much better, you just cannot afford to lose this game if you're Chicago. So it'll be a very conservative game plan. And then on the other side, the Browns, I know last week was kind of an anomaly, the Titans-Browns game, all those points. I think this week the Browns defense will be pissed off about the way they played last week, and they'll play better. And then the Browns offense, the Bears defense is pretty solid. So I feel like the only way I lose this game is if we get defensive touchdowns. So outside of that, I feel really good about under 38.5 in the Bears and the Browns. All right, to 4 o'clock, staying away from the Phillip Rivers situation here. Just kind of funny in a lot of different ways, but also pretty cool that he's playing football today. I'll err on the side of it's cool, and I'll root for him. They're getting 14 points at Seattle. I just don't know what the hell to expect. I imagine Steichen will be, the coach for the Colts will be extra motivated to prove himself right today. But you're going up against the Seahawks defense, which is just phenomenal. But the Seahawks defense has been playing, the Atlanta's offense actually is not terrible. That's who they beat last week. But Steichen will be pretty creative. They might scheme something up. I don't know. If Phillip Rivers is decent, then 14 points is way too much. I'll stay away from it. Should be a fascinating watch. And then the other one I'll stay away from. I was really close to taking the Lions today, but I'll let the Lions game go. The Lions are getting 6 points against the Rams. It's yeah, I could see this game going almost any sort of way. No outcome's really going to surprise me. This loss, the Rams really, really need to win this game if they want to win the division. Like the Niners are lurking, the Seahawks have the Colts at home, so the Rams are highly motivated to win this game. They want to get the 1 seed. They want to keep Stafford indoors. That would be, if the Rams get the 1 seed and they don't have to go to Green Bay or Seattle in the playoffs, it's hard for me not to think the Rams are going to come out of the NFC. But if they have to go on the road, that's a tough situation. They seem to fumble the ball way too much, and I don't know if Stafford will hold up for a couple games, especially if they're on the road. And then on the other side, the Lions got to make the playoffs here. The Lions got to win this game if they want to make the playoffs. They don't have an easy schedule either down the stretch. They are 8-5. It's a really interesting spot for them. They've been Jekyll and Hyde all year, up and down, up and down. I don't really know. I want to see this game. That's why I don't have a strong opinion on it. We will, we'll let that one go. So I got 2 games at 4 o'clock that I like. I'll start with the Broncos. I never take the Broncos. I'm taking the Broncos, though, today. I like the disrespect factor. I like the fact that the Packers are everybody's favorite team right this second, and I just don't believe in the Packers. I think fundamentally the Packers have a great team on paper, but something about when things don't go right for them, they're going to have a hard time recovering. And I just don't think Jordan Love's – I don't believe it. I really don't. I think the talent's there. I don't believe it for this year. I should say that, right? I want to see him avoid the big play. I think today he's going to make a couple really bad plays. The Broncos defense is elite. That environment will be elite. The Love's been comfortable. He won that game in Thanksgiving at Detroit inside the Dome. It was a great win for him. I give him that. And then last week he played great again. They beat the Bears. It's a different animal. I think they're going to be in for a world of trouble here against the Broncos. Broncos +1. That's a really big. I love the Broncos today. I know it sounds crazy because I haven't liked them that much all year, but Bo Nix has been showing me that he's not going to screw this game up. And then I trust him in the fourth quarter way more than I trust Jordan Love. If this game was in Green Bay, it'd probably be a 6-point favorite for the Packers. They're still favored by a point in a point and a half. Depends where you look. In Denver, I'm going to definitely take the Broncos. I'll take whatever point you want to give me, but I think the Broncos win this game. And I think they're going to win decisively. So that's that. And then my favorite game is going to be the Panthers. The Buccaneers have given the Panthers life. I mean, the Panthers already had life, but now they're going to be ready to roll today. -2.5 at the Saints. They're coming off a bye, so the Panthers they're feeling great. Beat the Rams, coming off a bye. The Panthers are going to win this game. The Panthers are going to be in first place in the NFC South when we wake up tomorrow. And the Bucs are in some trouble. They're going to get 2 cracks at the Panthers, so it should be fun down the stretch. But the Panthers are a pretty good team. And they're going to beat a bad team in the Saints today because the Saints are going to have the only way you're going to really beat the Panthers is if you can control the clock and run the ball right at them and just make Bryce Young play from behind. That's when bad things happen to the Panthers. That's what happened in that 49ers game on Monday night. But against a team like the Saints, I know the Saints defense is pretty good, but even if it's low scoring, I'm going to favor the Panthers. The Panthers will lock it down. I do like the Panthers a lot today. So those will be my 4 bets. The under in the Browns, Bears, Chiefs -6, Broncos to win, but plus, 1.5, and then Panthers -2.5. Vikings, Cowboys tonight. The Vikings looked great last week against Washington. So for whatever that's worth, it was Washington and they were home. Dallas is desperate. Dallas has to win. But I don't think it's a great matchup for Dallas because Minnesota's pass defense is pretty elite. They're going to blitz. They're going to be all over the place. I'd probably favor the under in that game. I'd probably favor to fade most of the props. So we'll see what happens later tonight. I'll put out some bets. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot one game. I forgot the Niners and the Titans. Another gigantic spread. Probably a forgettable game. That's why I didn't mention it because the Niners should win this game. Should they cover? I don't know. They're coming off a bye also. You would think the Niners would be nice and sharp and they would just beat the crap out of the Titans today. But the Titans did win last week, and they're feeling good about themselves. Cam Ward made some plays. I still like Cam Ward a lot. I don't really want to bet against them, so that's why I'll leave it alone. So, yeah, we have – let me get them real quick. So the Niners are favored by 12.5. The Seahawks by 14. The Jags by 14. Eagles by 12.5. And Texans by 10.5. So that's 5 double-digit spreads. If you want to count the Bears as 6 because minus 7.5, they seem like an obvious pick. But 5-6 games where, one team has nothing to play for, it's a gigantic spread, and the team's home. And there's just no way they're all going to win. They're definitely not all going to cover. That's 1,000% sure. It just never works out in the NFL that way. Now, as I say it, watch, they'll all be like 40-point blowouts. But no, the fact that we have that many big favorites today is a recipe for a gambling disaster. So please tread carefully. I'm staying away from literally all of those games because I don't know which one is going to go bust, but I'm just almost positive 1 or 2 of them where just when you think you know something, these teams are going to win on the money line. It's going to screw up what everybody thinks are the obvious playoff matchups or playoff teams. So, be careful with those games. And then, all right, Ravens-Bengals. Deep breath here as we try to talk positive about the Ravens because who needs to kick them when they're down? It's been a hell of a couple weeks, that's for damn sure, after battling to get back to 500 and really being the favorite to win the Super Bowl. Like, that's how it felt. Like, man, we're back. Lamar's back. Thanksgiving should be a lot of fun. And now it's like, should we just blow up this whole team? What the hell is happening? I'm going to focus on 2 things today that make me think the Ravens are going to win this game. And if they don't win this game, I don't know what to say because it's going to be such a disaster tomorrow if they don't win this game. But here's the 2 reasons why I think they should win this game. The first is Ar'Darius Washington and Tavius Robinson are back. That means this defense has now got a lot of depth, and that's important down the stretch. They're super healthy. Now, on the flip side, T. Higgins is out. So the Bengals really struggled to move the ball against the Ravens on Thanksgiving anyway. I mean, they couldn't score in the red zone. The Ravens had to give them the game in order for the Bengals to win. I don't know if the Bengals are going to be able to move the football. It's going to be absolutely freezing. And Chase Brown, the running back, that'll be the focal point, I'm sure, for the Ravens, obviously, in addition to Jamar Chase. And I just don't know if the Bengals have enough weapons. If Higgins was playing, I'd be a little nervous. His head hit the fucking ground last week. Golly, that was first of all, one of the best passes and catches I've seen in a minute, that touchdown that he had. But then the injury was tough. So no Higgins today. Bengals are depressed. Bengals are in a bad mood. So that's reason number 1 is no Higgins, plus we get Robinson and Ar'Darius back, plus we're healthy on defense. So that's number 1. Number 2 is Lamar. This has got to be the snap-out game. One of my favorite Lamar highlights was the spin move he put on at Cincinnati. I think it was in 2019 when he was superhuman, and it was just such a sick move, and then he just outran everybody. I think Lamar is going to play great today. I sure hope he does because Lamar's history has always been once you doubt him completely, that's when he snaps out of it. We just kind of thought that we'd been doubting him enough that he would have snapped out of it last week. But in retrospect, yeah, he didn't play great last week up to Lamar standards, but it wasn't absolutely terrible. And we all know what happened with the refs and the likely play in the end zone. This Bengals defense is so effing bad. Like, it's just so bad. So what it comes down to today is Lamar's going to be able to pick apart this secondary. And I think the Bengals are going to load up on the box because they're going to treat Lamar like you can't really make the plays down the field. That's what the film has been saying. And it's cold. Maybe they think the Ravens are just going to run the ball. I have a feeling the Ravens will come out, spread it out, let Lamar get rolling here, and we put up a bunch of points and we cruise. So that'll be my positive take here for the Ravens. Good luck on your bets, whatever you're betting on. Any questions, feel free to ask me. If I knew who was going to win, I wouldn't be here. So keep that in mind. And, last thought is if you watch the first half of that Maryland game last night, that was one of the best first halves of basketball. that I really enjoyed that game, and it just reminds you that these injuries are just devastating. Like, you know, when Payne went down, and you're watching the game. If you didn't watch it, Pharrell Payne went down 3-4 minutes left in the first half, and he was just. There's certain guys, and I guess I'll make this point, and then I'll get out of here. But there's certain guys that make it really easy to root for the team. And when you have that, that's how you start to build like a fan base and fandom. And that's why everybody cares, because it's like, man, that guy really, really cares, makes it easy to root for. So I will say, in the age of all this NIL and all the controversy with the gambling and the betting and, all the money that's floating around and the transfers, a lot of sour taste in everybody's mouth. To have a guy like that, Payne, be part of the Maryland team, come over here and just try to will us to victory, and then watch Maryland essentially just die in the second half. Like, I know Michigan's a really elite team. Feels like they just got guy after guy after guy. But yeah, it just shows you like what an impact he has. And so a really tough loss for Maryland yesterday. But going to be easy to root for this Maryland team moving forward. So Buzz is doing a pretty good job. Just a tough loss yesterday. If you took the 18.5 points, you covered by half a point. But tough second half is Michigan. And yeah, Arizona destroyed Alabama in the second half yesterday. So a lot of stuff going on in college basketball. If you're betting college basketball, always happy to help. I follow it. I'm just not betting it. So, all right. Have a good day. Good luck on all your bets. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.